We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the Blues. We love you, what more can we say? Birmingham's the team, down at St Andrews. We are all supporters of our team. We chant the Super Blues, ringing all around. Now all you blue boys know what we mean. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the Blues. We love you, what more can we say? Let's hear you in the cup, singing our song, helping and sharing the love. It's worth the point at all when we sing together. We're there at the end of the road. We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the Blues. We love you, what more can we say? We have
7 o'clock, it's Friday night, this is of course the Tilton. Here we go, an hour and a half. Who knows what? Over the next 90 minutes we'll be talking about that great win against Swansea, the upcoming game against Brentford, and lots of other things. So on our fan cam tonight, with his microphone turned off, is currently Michael.
You know?
Keep your mic on, keep your mic on, Mike. Keep your mic on, Mike. Mike, keep your mic. With a normal rabble, Mr. Paul Hipkiss.
Good evening, all.
Mark Andrew Adams.
Hello, everybody. Good
Mrs.
evening.
Brown. And my good self. Sponsored, of course, by Ball Sports, principal sponsor of Birmingham City Football Club in conjunction with SAS Autos, our good friends at Borsley Labour Club, the Garrison Coffee Company and the Blues Trust, and, of course, our lovely friends at Accessi Blues. Right, on with the show we go. Now, we have picked up probably one of the most important wins of the season the other night. Missed a penalty, then got another penalty right to death. If that's the way we're going to win games, great. We'll have it. We'll take it all the time. Paul?
Fantastic. I've got to say that was the best referee I've seen at the Blues for a long, long time.
Yeah.
He had a 10 out of 10, didn't he? I couldn't fault him in any way. He got everything spot on and had a great game. But as for the players, I mean, every single one of them, 110%, you know. And if you're going to play for Lee Bow, you can tell straight away, can't you, that you've got to give at least the minimum requirement is 100% effort. And you know, I thought we were excellent to a man and well worth the 3 points in the end. And I could feel it in my water, you know. That, obviously, I won't mention his name, but that ex-Villa player on their bench coming on, and I just had the feeling inside my water that he was going to come on and score. And, you know, I'm just so glad I was wrong. And it was another ex-Villa player that scored for us.
Oh, that's 2 £10 fines you've had already?
No, yeah. But well worth it for the 3 points, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah.
So yeah,
I nearly split me in here again on the final minute, mate. Michael, what was your take on the game?
Michael, your take.
That's a good clue. What you have to do, Mike, you have to listen.
Yeah.
When you ask the question, you have to answer it. It's really easy on here, mate. Yeah. There's a bit of a Lowry going on in the background.
Little, yeah, absolutely. I'll let you bite off me later. I'll swap you for a blue shirt.
Cheers, pal.
I thought it was decent. A manly performance, workmanlike. That's what we want to see. That's what Blues fans are all about. It's not silly football to me.
No.
You know, I don't care about formations. Formations, as someone famously said, don't win games. Players do.
Yeah.
It's all about the battle and the battle.
Spot on, yeah.
That's what it is for me. That's what being a Blues fan is about.
Yeah.
Definitely.
100%. Yeah. We've never played pretty football, have we, really? Even when we did, well, going back to the Premier League, you'd have the odd game where we'd win 3 or 4-0 or 5-0 sometimes. But remember the Portsmouth one? But, you know, overall, we're exactly what Michael's just said. All about, you know, workman type, you know, a workhorse 11, putting a shift in and grinding out the result. And, you know, that's exactly what we did on Friday night.
Did you see, and I loved this bit, right, Duke's reaction when that penalty went in?
Yes.
Yes, like that. Boom. You know what, mate? You've missed one. You've been taken off, and you're still quite happy to celebrate that penalty and the win. Nice one. Right on, Jukey. Got to say happy birthday to Mark Adams for last Friday. Congratulations. I think you've just hit 40 now, haven't you?
Yeah, it's quite old, isn't it? It's quite old.
Hang on. I've just done my first 45. The whistle's blown on my first 45.
Ah, right, okay.
Five.
I think it looks a lot older. There you go.
Hey,
What?
You're related to Linda?
hey, to Linda.
No,
No.
it's older. Yeah, grandson.
That was a nice. It was Friday, wasn't it? Your birthday, Mark. That was a nice
Yeah, it was.
present,
So it
wasn't
was so it was a good end to the day.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant end to the day, really. I thought we were absolutely fantastic. Best performance in months.
I've got to say, and I'm sure people can relate that have got kids to sleep in bed when we're playing these night games because they're a nightmare when you're at home.
No.
And when we scored that penalty, I had to do the quietest, most passionate, loudest celebration known to man.
Right, when we get back in studio, Paul, I'm going to bring in my sound meter and we're going to see who can shout the loudest out of all four of us.
Definitely me. It can't be any louder than me when the Blues score. Honestly, I think my mum and dad know about it, and they're about 2 miles up the road. Yeah.
Nick, can I just say that we're
currently 5 Cardiff 0. Sheffield 5 Cardiff 0.
we're hoping that Stephen Caldwell will join us shortly. I think he's having difficulties, so he will join us. There you go.
You're having a few technical difficulties, so there you go. We'll get him on as soon as possible. Good old Steve.
Sorry, Nick. Does anyone know what Hogan actually said to the goalie when he scored the penalty?
No, I don't know.
I think if you look at him running up, you can tell that he's kind of like. I think he's shouting something to him, isn't he? Is he about to take it, or he's kind of like waving his arms? He just tried to put him off, basically, wasn't he? And when the ball goes in the net, it was just, a few exchange of words, really, just sort of throwing it back at him, wasn't it?
That could be our new competition. What did he say?
Yeah,
any of our fans lip readers out there?
Camp's better than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's. I think on the field now, we look like we've turned a corner. We've got the right man for the job. Moving forwards,
I do take credit for it, Paul. Sorry, I'm taking all the credit for that one.
But I just, for me, it just papers over the cracks until we get it right in the boardroom. And the guys out there putting all the effort in to demonstrate and protest the Dong Out banners everywhere. I want to give him credit because I hope he gets the message and leaves eventually. If they persist with it, I'm hoping he does.
Do you think he's getting the message?
How can you be so unliked at a football club and just carry on? Blasé.
Yeah. I can't get my head around it. We've said it before.
The one banner I saw that sort of, points out all the, things that have happened since he's been here over the 4 years. It's quite scary, really, when you look at it, isn't it?
Very.
Yeah.
And leadership starts from the top, and the CEO is, it all starts from the CEO in any business, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Chris Brown, have we had any feedback off the Blues Trust reference to sale of the ground yet?
No, I believe there was a meeting last week, and as soon as I find out more, I will let you know. And Stephen Caldwell is entering the room, I believe.
And Linda Magnan, anybody else that knows any more information on that one, please do let us know. Get in touch. Greetings, Mr. Caldwell.
Hey guys, sorry. I'm a nightmare. It's difficult with this time difference, but I got held up my meeting there, so my apologies.
There's no time difference in Scotland.
I'm in Canada.
A second foray into Canada in 2 weeks. We were with Big Kev.
Nice.
Yeah,
Big Kev, Super Kevin Francis. He was on last week with us. So 2 weeks on the trot into Canada. We go worldwide on the Tilton Talk Show. So we do it all for charity on a Monday morning.
Right, Stevie. Does anyone know whereabouts Big Kev is in Canada?
Calgary,
yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it's
what part of Canada are you, Steve?
I'm in Toronto.
The posh bit.
Yeah.
That's like Dolly Olive calendar, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like an American city, Toronto.
Yeah.
Very,
What made you move there then, Stephen? Was it after you played in the MLS, like you just stayed over there after sort of and went up to Canada?
Yeah, I played in Canada. I played for TFC.
Oh,
so
okay.
I played for Toronto, so I was always here, and then I worked with the organisation that owns the hockey team and the soccer team, and so I stayed a bit with that, and then I've been here ever since. I love it, guys. It's a great place.
Yeah, that's good.
Sorry, Steve.
Have you ever come across a grizzly bear?
Sorry?
Have you ever come across a grizzly bear?
No, there's no grizzly.
I've got one in the front room here, kid.
I've met her. She's lovely.
I might even do an after 15 tonight because my belly's hurting that much still. Oh dear.
Sorry, Mark. What was you going to say, Mark?
No, I was going to ask Steve. Were you there when Jermaine Defoe was there?
I was with Jermaine
yeah.
for 9 months or whatever it was. Yeah, he was terrific. He was a great guy. I actually got on really well with him, and he did well. And then I think he just had enough pretty quickly. He just wasn't what he expected, MLS, and I think he missed the kind of, it's a different game here, football, So I think he missed the sort of passion and that, and he wanted to be back.
So did you enjoy your time with us, Stephen? Then, so you obviously started your career at Newcastle, wasn't it? Was it Newcastle you started at?
I did. I started at Newcastle. I left school, Scotland, went to Newcastle. Loved it at the time. I mean, Newcastle was a massive club. It was, competing for Premier League titles. It's like you tell kids these days about Newcastle and they think the modern day Newcastle, but back then in the kind of mid-90s, it was one of the places to be. It was hard to tell if Manchester United would win all the titles or if Newcastle would win them. So it was a big place for me to go, and I felt like it was close enough to home and just had this good feeling about going there that I chose them. I had a few options, luckily, and I chose them, and I loved it. I was there pretty much in the North East for about 10 years because I went straight to Sunderland after that. So I love playing football in that area. It's pretty passionate. People love football.
That's a bit naughty, isn't it? Going from Newcastle to Sunderland. That's like crossing the A38. It's just not done.
It's a big decision.
Lee Clark did that, didn't he? Bit of a Lee Clark.
Yeah, Clark. Yeah, Lee Clark was there for about a season, wasn't it? Yeah, but I mean, yeah. So throughout your career, then you would have played with some absolute world-class players, wouldn't you? The Shearers and the Peter Beasley. Was Peter Beasley at Newcastle then in '97? Yeah.
Yeah, I never played with Peter. Peter was playing in '97, but I was only about 16, 17 then, so I knew Peter pretty well. He actually coached me a bit with the youth team, but I never got to play with Peter. But I played with Alan and I played with Rob Lee and Gary Speed and who else was there? Dyer.
Ginola.
No, I never played with Ginola. Bit young for that as well. But I saw the guys. I used to go down there when I was a kid, when I was like 14, 15, and be part of the match day experience and that before I signed. And it was just amazing. What a time to be in Newcastle and
you can imagine.
be part of that group of players.
Yeah.
And who was your club as a kid? Who was your club?
Go on, Paul. Get up again.
So I was just going to say, who was your club as a kid growing up, like that you supported?
Celtic. I was a Celtic guy. Yeah, my uncles were a big Celtic guys, so they used to run supporters buses and stuff like that. So I was always going to Celtic games, and I kind of quickly realised that my dad always used to say you can't support a team if you're a football player, and that. So I really had that mindset, and I've carried that on. I love the teams that I played for, but I'm not.
You look at the team you got Newcastle, Sunderland, Blues. They're all like sleeping giants, aren't they? And they're all in the doldrums, each and every one. It's not your fault, is it? There's no kind of link there, is there?
I played with. I was on the Leeds for 6 months. I played with Leeds, Birmingham, Newcastle, Sunderland. Wigan's not a very big club, and Burnley did well when I was there. But I played with some great clubs. Like, I'm very proud to have played with some of the clubs. I really.
I mean, you're looking at huge clubs as well, aren't you?
Yeah, it's more than just the size. It's the people involved.
He's mad for them.
The people involved, it's like, to me, it's all about the support and the love for the club, the love, the city. Like, to me, it's like, it's more than just like what happens on the field. That's why I'm like, I love my time at Birmingham, because, like, to me, I was surprised because, I never really lived in Birmingham, but most people that I met in the city were like Birmingham City fans. They weren't Aston Villa fans, and I.
Did you get to play in the derby game?
I never played in the derby, no.
Oh man, what a shame.
I've seen you. I like to reminisce on our days when we were good, you know, in the Premier League. And I see you pop up quite a bit. I mean, I remember you played against us for Leeds, didn't you? When Mikel Forsell got a couple, and
Yeah.
I think Brian Hughes got a couple as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I remember you playing. My dad's 60th birthday. Actually, he led the teams out when we played Burnley at home when Christian Benitez, God bless him, got the winner, and you was Burnley captain.
Yeah.
In that game, and I think we won 1-0, wasn't it? Yeah, Benitez.
Yeah,
and,
last game of the season, wasn't it?
Yeah. So you was Burnley's captain in that one as well. But yeah, so how did it come about to finish up playing for us in the end? Then was you sort of was it Burnley you came to us from?
I came from Wigan. So
Wigan, sorry.
I left Burnley and I went to Wigan for a year with Martinez, and I'd been injured a lot, and I got my career back on track at Wigan, but I never played as much as I wanted. So I was looking around to go to another club. Like I only signed like a 1-year kind of bridge deal, and I loved it. I learned a lot, but yeah, I wanted to play, so I was looking around, and I got a call for Chris Hughton, and he wanted to meet with me and invited me up to the Malmaison to have a chat and see what I thought and find out if we'd be a good fit. And it was an easy decision. We spent 2 or 3 hours talking about the game and the club and where he wanted to take us. And I know Birmingham, I know how great a club it is. You talked about some of the times I've played at St Andrews with other teams and some of the great Birmingham City sides. But yeah, it wasn't a hard decision for me to make once I heard Chris's vision, and he kind of understood what I was as a player and what my strengths and weaknesses were. And that to me was kind of important by that. I was like 30 by that point. So if a guy thought I was going to like run into channels all day and stuff and cover like with my pace, it was going to be a problem. So he was well clear what I was good at, and he wanted me for that very reason. So it was an easy decision. Yeah.
And that first season with us, obviously, was, you know, the Europa League, wasn't it, under Chris Hughton, and such a fantastic season. And we were, you know, in the end, we were unlucky against Blackpool, weren't we, in the 2 legs in the playoffs. And, you know, but that season as a whole, you know, it was just a great season, wasn't it, overall? Chris Burke was banging the goals in, Marlon King, who we had on the other week. You know, Chris Wood up front with Marlon King and Nathan Redmond. And, you know, we had some great players, didn't we, in that season?
Yeah, it was a great time to be a Birmingham City player. It was just a lot of excitement around the club. It was one of my favourite seasons in 17 years as a professional. It was just amazing, just the Europa League campaign, and I'd played in Europe before with Newcastle a little bit, but I never thought I'd get that chance again. So to have an opportunity to play in Europa League group stage was amazing. And
so just put a goosebump alert around. Goosebump alert.
Yeah, it was great. Them European nights at St Andrews were special, weren't they? The atmosphere was just electric.
Yeah, the one against Nacional was probably like top 5-10 games of my career. It was just absolutely incredible. I've never heard a stadium that loud in my life. It was just an amazing. The hairs in the back of my neck are standing up just thinking about it. It was amazing. Yeah, we could feel the energy coming from the stands, and we were building a bit of a spirit and culture at that point. That was, probably our biggest strength. I'd say that team, the way we stuck together and the way that we kind of ground things out. I don't know if we were like the most talented team, but we were a tough team. Not many people wanted to play against us.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just going to say, Paul, it was strange because the Carling Cup team had been decimated, so it was almost starting from a clean sheet, and then the players, we as fans felt it was like, it was just weird. All the Carling Cup lads would go in, they just won us the cup, and it's almost like, we're a bit down really, but then this new set of players came in, and we all took it to our heart, sort of thing.
Did the business.
Yeah, I think the I'll have to say, and I've said this to someone else recently, but the guys that were leaving, there's probably like that usual few weeks where Barry Ferguson and Ben Foster and I'm drawing a blank here, Scott Dan,
Roger Johnson,
Big Roger, they were still there, and they were tremendous. They weren't causing a hassle. They knew they were leaving, and it was going to be a matter of time. But they were really great to us new guys, and really had sort of respect and the club, and just did things right and got their moves and that and stuff like that. But it was just it was a great transition, and I have to say the guys really helped with that. They were tremendous, because I've been places before where you know, guys want moves and they can be really awkward. None of the guys were. They were really terrific with the new boys.
That's good to know. Bringing Michael in off our fan cam this week. This is introduce you to Michael. And you got any questions or any thoughts or comments you'd like to make to Steve, mate?
I'm in awe, to be honest. I'm sitting and listening.
What, you're in awe?
Not with me in
It's
awe.
only me, mate. It's only me, mate. You're all right.
No, it's not you, Nick, honest. It's that jigsaw you were doing. No, I suppose one question is when leaving the Blues, was that his decision? Was that your decision, Steve?
No, it wasn't my decision. It was more like they weren't going to give me the same money, and I don't think that near the end of my time that Lee Clark and I were seeing. No, I wouldn't say seeing eye to eye. That's wrong because you know he's a hero of mine. I've known Lee Clark since I was 15. And
Great interview we had with him the other week, mate. Absolutely superb interview with him the other week.
He's a terrific man. He is. He's a terrific man, and he's done a great job at a lot of teams, you know. But it just never worked that year, you know. And there's no hard feelings. When you get older, you realise it can't always be perfect. But it was very different for Chris Hughton's Birmingham City, so it was a tough year, and I was really drained and burnt out after that year. You know, it was very kind of traumatic, and like I was really shocked. I thought we were going to win the championship at the start of that season. After the season we had before, and you know, we signed a couple of on paper some great guys, Dan Ambrose and Hayden Mullins, Logan Cans. You know, I thought, wow, a couple of 3 great additions there, and with the guys that we've got, we'll win the league. You know, and then it just never worked out, and. Yeah, it's disappointing because I got on really well with Lee, but it just never happened, and so it was obvious that I was going to leave. And I can't actually remember. I don't think there was a contract offer on the table, but I wouldn't have signed it if there was because I needed to go. It just it wasn't.
Not Blues related, but the Grizzly Bearers finished my jigsaw.
So when you first signed for Blues, just for a bit of fun, like, was there many good and bad initiation songs?
There's a lot of new boys, wasn't there? I mean, God, we must have brought in, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 players. So it took us a while to get going, actually. But a great bunch of guys. Like I've always said this, but like when you wake up on a Saturday morning, you've got a game at 3 p.m. and you kind of know what you're going to get off your teammates, and you know, efforts and as a minimum kind of thing. You feel good about the game, you know. And I very rarely woke up in that first season unsure about what team were going to take the field. I just knew that we were going to be committed and we were going to compete, and you know, we're going to give everything to win the game. And we played like that the entire season. We played some great stuff, and we had some proper men involved in that team.
Absolutely. Yeah. I particularly stand out for me. I mean, yourself and Curtis at the back, and you know, in the middle. I really enjoyed watching Wade Elliott that season, and you know, Chris Burke down the right, Redmond down the left, and Wood and King up front. I'd say to this day that's the best team we've had since, you know, we were relegated 10 years ago.
Absolutely,
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Some top players there, like Wade's a very good friend of mine. We played at Burnley and Birmingham. We got really close at Birmingham. We actually lived together in the second season just to because we were hanging out all the time. So a very underrated player, Wade Elliott. So smart, really brilliant. Good finding space.
Yeah, I was surprised his career didn't really take off, to be honest with you, because you know, you could see he'd got it, couldn't you?
Yeah, I don't know. He's probably like 30-something when he got to Birmingham, but he was terrific at Burnley as well, and he had some offers to leave, but we just got promoted, and they gave him a great deal. And yeah, he should have played. He should have played 100 times in the Premier League. He was that good, but just never got it for him, you know.
Some of his goals as well stick in my mind. I mean, the one at Leeds, I think it was in the cup, wasn't it? That was an absolute worldie. Yeah. He got one against Middlesbrough as well, when he chested and volleyed it on the edge of the box. That was another world. Yeah. He scored some special goals, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And in Europe,
Yeah. Was it Crystal Palace that season as well that we give a pretty good hiding at St Andrews? And I think Chris Burke got a couple, and I remember Fahy as well getting a great goal as well in that game.
Yeah, the good season that year as well. Keith was really good. He was so consistent that year.
Yeah, you know, we had strength in depth. We had a great first 11 and quality players to come on as well to replace the first 11 as well. Like you say, it was usually the first 11, wasn't it, every week? But then, you had quality players on the bench as well to come on, didn't you, if required?
Yeah, we never had a massive squad, but we had like you said, 5 or 6 like really good kind of subs or whatever, or guys that could come in. So we were consistent. I think the number of games cost us in the end. I ruptured my adductor at Ipswich, I think it was, and I missed the playoffs, and Bose broke his finger, Bose Mael. So we kind of like lost 2 or 3 starters, I seem to remember, which in the end, I think that we just run out of steam a little bit. What did we play? Like 63 games in a season.
Yeah.
Crazy,
Yeah, and Zigic as well, getting his 4 goals at Leeds. That game was pretty. Yeah.
That was special, wasn't it?
Effective that year. He was very effective, Big Ziggy. He gave us that different dimension, and came up with his moments as well. So he's a great example of that kind of that strength when we kind of went to the bench or we went to somebody else. Zigic always seemed to deliver.
Yeah.
Who's related? But game's just finished, guys. Sheffield 5, Cardiff 0.
Okay.
Oh, thanks for that, Nick.
I was going to say, going back to that era, us as fans used to go to the games, and it was actually enjoyable. It wasn't a chore to go down the Blues. It was actually, you'd look forward to every game because you knew you'd see some goals.
Those are the days. Those are the days. Unlike now.
Knew what you was going to get there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we getting any? Sorry, God. Are we getting any comments coming in from our viewers? Because I can't see any.
Yeah, there's
anyone else?
Yeah, it's quite loud. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Because I can't see any at mine for some reason, which is
Here we
strange.
go. I'll try to keep an eye on them for you.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries. But Craig's asking me to ask you. Craig Courtney's just asking. Can you ask Stephen about the Bruges game and what it was like when the players walked out to the sound of Keep Right on 8,000 plus Blues fans having the ultimate party?
It was wild. Two of my buddies actually went to that game. One of them was a big Man U fan, and he's followed Man United everywhere, but he wanted to come and support me and watch the game. And he's been everywhere, like all over Europe with Man United. And he said it's the best European trip he's ever been on. He's not even a Blues fan. He just said it was incredible. They got in the boat and they came over and they enjoyed the city and then went to the game. And it was an incredible night. It was just to have that level of support behind you, and a good Bruges team. We played really well. We obviously got that late goal, which just put the cherry on the icing on the cake. So it was one of the special nights. Like I had to that season. Like Chris was always trying to rest me in the Europa League games, and I was like begging him, please play me. Like, no, 30 plus. Take a rest, you play at the weekend and the championship. I really want to play. So a couple of times, I don't think it was that one, but a couple of times I managed to persuade them to put me in the team and play in the games because they were just such great games to play, and it was a special time.
And who would we have had in your? I'm just trying to think who would have played instead. Oh, it would have been probably Pablo Ibanez, wouldn't it?
Pablo was the kind of replacement there. I don't know who else would play there actually. I don't think Curtis got injured that season. I think he played nearly every week.
He was immense, wasn't he, that season?
We had a good partnership. We just we kind of complemented each other, our styles of play, and we came up with a real kind of way of playing where I played a little bit higher and sort of like attacked everything, and he covered with his pace, and it worked really well.
Yeah. Was he the best player you played with at the back? Best centre-half partner you played with in your whole career, or was there someone better?
No, I played with Woodgate at Newcastle. Woodgate was absolutely incredible.
John.
He was ridiculous. Sorry, guys. I called you. Woodgate had everything. He had pace. He could read the game. He was like another level. But Curtis was up there. Curtis was one of the best partnerships that I had for sure. That first season we were pretty solid, and it was that weird feeling with the way Chris had set us up when we were winning a game like 1-0 and 60th minute. You just had that feeling like there's no way we're conceding a goal here. We're just like we've got this tied up. So it was a combination for me playing with Curtis and having like Chris's structure that probably made that the best defensive team I ever played in. Like I played with some great guys at Newcastle, but we're always about scoring goals and going forward, and this was like a nice balance, I think, where we're pretty solid when we had to be.
Yeah.
Okay, in from Linda Magna, here we go, back onto the football ground again. We definitely have an ACB, which is an asset of community value, an ACB in place. Birmingham Council was slow when we renewed Blues Trust. We're in correspondence about it. Almagier has written a good piece today, which he has liaised with us about. Keep right on.
Yeah,
and thank you to all those who joined last week, 9 new members. It does mean that the land can only be used for football purposes. Shops, houses, it stops them from being built on the ground for now.
That's good.
For now, yeah. Jason Donahue, sponsor now. Does Steve watch any Blues games at all? You get round to watching any, Steve?
I don't actually. I don't watch a lot of the Championship guys. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to get here. Although I have caught them now and again, but like I keep in touch with some fellas. So I'm glad Lee Boyer's the manager. I played with Lee at Newcastle for a season, and I know him and great guy. And I think you guys will tell me better, but I don't know if the last guy who Karanka was the right fella for the job. So I'm glad he's gone. And, someone who understands the club.
And that was unfortunate, because you don't like to see anybody lose a job. You want to see everybody do well at your football club. And, where would we be now if we were sat on top of the league with him? We'd have been praising him to, the best thing that's happened for us for 20, 30 years. It didn't work out. We move on. We've now got Lee. We've picked themselves up a little bit more. And, it seems to be working at the moment. Good luck to him.
Yeah.
We carry on.
Yeah.
We carry on. That's what we do.
I think he's just... What he's done, he's just gone back to basics since he's come in, and he's playing everyone to their strengths. And, he just demands 110% out of every single player, which they're giving for that whole 90 minutes. You can really see a massive difference with them on the whole the demeanour of the players and the body language on the players is like night and day, especially at St Andrews.
Yeah. It looks like there's a weight off the shoulder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Visibly, it looks like their confidence has come right back up.
Yeah, which is great to see. So yeah.
Yeah, that's all we ask. Yeah. That's all we ask.
So, yes. Stephen, we've asked you to do. I'm conscious you're a bit pushed for time. Are you? Do you have another call at?
I am, guys. I've got a call at 3 here, my time with MLS about some rule changes before the season starts.
Okay. So we asked you to do your 1 to 11, didn't we, from the players that you played with for us over the couple of years you was with us?
Yeah.
So should we do that now? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Come on then. Right then, go ahead then with your 1 to 11.
So is
you want me to tell the whole team? Or?
Yeah, tell us.
Tell us the whole team, the captain and the manager, and your formation, please.
The captain, Stephen Carr, for obvious reasons, a great leader and a terrific football player. I got to play with him a number of times, not as much as I'd like because he was kind of getting some injury issues by that point. But great man, great player, great leader. Chris is obviously my manager, Chris Houghton. One of the best I ever worked with, really so diligent and organised and taught me a lot about structure and leadership basically and the kind of way to coach, and be true to yourself. And I thought that he did that better than most. He was he just did things his way and people loved it. It was very clear what he wanted. So that's my captain and my manager. My team would be probably 4-4-2, 4-4-1-1. It would be Fozzie in goals, so Ben Foster in goals. It's quite a tough one for me, that one, because I only played with Fozzie a little bit, but he was so good that I had to put him in there. And no disrespect to Bose, who was terrific as well behind Curtis and I for that season, but Fozzie was special. Fozzie had everything really, and one of the best I ever played with. Right back would be Stevie Carr. Left back would be David Murphy, and again another tough one because I was between Reggie and Murphy. And I kind of probably played more with Murph, but Reggie and I played together a bit, even at centre back together sometimes. So he was a great player, but I went for Murph because I sort of played a bit more with him. And then the centre backs would be Curtis Davies and Pablo Ibanez.
It's just a brick wall, isn't it? It's a brick wall.
Curtis was,
we don't need Donald Trump to build one. You've just done it.
We talked about Curtis. He was so consistent, and he was come up with a goal. He could defend. He was very good. So Curtis was an easy choice. Pablo was great guy and was actually a really good defender, and sort of like, I guess he was like the third centre half a lot that season, but definitely a guy who I respected and got on really well with. He had that horrific injury in Bruges, didn't he?
I was going to say,
oh my God, I'll never forget that. I thought he was dead, man. He was just lying there on the ground, and he was just like so still. It was a horrible moment, real sick feeling in the stomach.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it was crying. Now was it Undor? It was Undor, wasn't it? It was crying.
He was crying. He was. We had to get him together. He was like losing it, poor guy. Yeah. And then we 10 minutes later, he was awake. He was fine. Yeah. I had to miss a couple of weeks with concussion protocol, but he was absolutely fine. Like when we got in the changing room, sort of 10 minutes later. So that was a relief. But yeah, a good solid defender and someone who could be consistent. Midfield, Burkie on the right. Chris Burke was the player of the year that season. Just unbelievable, his performances. Just run all day and assists and goals. And I think around about that time, one of the best players that ever played for Birmingham, in my opinion. It was a spectacular season. On the left would be John Beausejour.
Oh yeah, he was good.
Yeah. Sort of between left back. He's probably a wing back, Beausejour. He was like not quite a winger and not really a full back, so he's just kind of in between. But back in the days when we were spoilt for choice on that left hand side, John played a bit higher. And then my midfield two would be Keith Fahey, who I thought had a terrific season, and was in many ways an underrated player. He was really Keith. He was very good at what he did. And then Spectre beside him. And I kind of had Specs in the side because, he was just one of the guys you want in your team. He could fight, he could grind it out. He played a lot of games at right back in Stevie's absence. But then he played central midfield as well. So I put him in there. And then for the top two, I'm going to go with Wadey as the number 10, Wade Elliott, in between the lines, which was his biggest strength. Just kind of played off the left sometimes, didn't he? But whenever he found that space between the lines, he used to, such a smart player. I love trying to find him in there. And then Marlon King up top.
What a team.
Good Marlon.
Yeah.
What a team, yeah. And would you say, Stephen Gill's asking, I've just had a comment come in, just asking me to ask you, Stephen Gill, one of our fans, is asking you, can you ask Stephen who his favourite gaffer in his whole career that you played for was? Would it be Chris Hughton?
He's up there, guys. He really is. It's like you think back, and I really got on the best with Chris. I got on really well with Ryan Nelson when I was in Toronto. It was more a friendship than a kind of manager-player relationship because I was older by then. But I really got on well with Chris, and I really respected him. Sir Bobby Robson taught me so much, of course, but me and him trying to get in the team back then, we would have our clashes. So I always think of what I learned from some of these guys. You learn something from everybody, you really do, good and bad. But Chris was a great guy, just a terrific human being, and I think that's a very important thing, because then you go that extra yard or two to try and do the best for somebody like that. And Chris was a guy who we always wanted to kind of like deliver for,
Wayne wants to know, ask Steve, what was his best St Andrews moment, and how much does the crowd make a difference?
The crowd make a massive difference. But when it's full, it's like one of the places to play. My best moment, probably National game. It's not really a moment; it's a 90 minutes. But it was really special. I just never expected it. It sort of like came out the tunnel that game, and it was rocking. And I'll never forget. Dennis was our kit man. I can't remember his surname now. Dennis was a great guy, and Dennis came in at the end and he said, "I'm not seeing it at St Andrews like that for many a year." And it really stuck with me. I just felt like really like privileged that I played in that game.
Goosebump alerts.
I think it was one of those. I think it's one of those occasions where you just knew, most of the stadium was Blues, because there's hardly any, away fans.
Away fans, yeah.
It was unique. It was surreal. It was fantastic. It was.
Yeah, it was rocking.
Yeah, and it was amazing. Like young Nathan scored first, and a lad from Birmingham come through the academy, and the roof nearly came off, and I just think it was kind of so sort of poetic that he was a guy that kind of started. Once we scored that first goal, we knew we had the beating of them, and it led to, probably second would be the Bruges game at St Andrews, which was a tremendous match, where we came back and we nearly won it. We should have won it, but yeah, it was national just for me.
Yeah.
And who were the biggest jokers around in that squad, in that group of players? Would you say it was the best? Any funny pranks or stories you can tell us about?
I think I headed too many balls, guys. I can't remember a lot of the stories. I can only remember like feelings, and it's funny. I can remember like the most minute things about a game, and then you kind of forget all the other stuff. Who would be a joker in that team? It actually wasn't really like a kind of joker team. It was like we just kind of got on with it and did our jobs. I love the city. I lived in the city. I lived right in the city for 2 years. My kids were in Newcastle at school, and so they were coming up at weekends and that. So I had a couple of different apartments in the city, and I just loved being around Birmingham. It was a brilliant city, just an amazing year. And then the second year not so great, but yeah, it was more about the performances on the field. But not a lot of jokers in that team. More about guys that used to play golf at Belfry every Wednesday. Stevie Carr and Reggie and I and different people come along, have a game of golf at the Belfry, and that it was great times.
Well, one great character's asked me to give you
a question from Ray Paul. Stephen, did you ever do an apprenticeship, and which players' boots did you clean? From Ray Hobro.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Wow.
Good question.
I did do that. I was one of the last guys that cleaned boots, actually.
Yeah.
It ended after that, yeah.
All right.
I was a terrible boot boy, I'm sure. My guys were amazing. I had Ian Rush when he was in Rush had Nike Tempos, and I used to clean Rush's Nike Tempos, and I had John Beresford, left back.
Oh, yeah.
Who else did I have? But I wasn't a great boot boy. I used to steal Steve Watson boots. Steve Watson, who was my coach, was my hero. He was the same size as me, and he had the new Preds, and I think Wattle gave me a pair, or I stole them or something. He was throwing them out, and I just kind of grabbed them, and I wore Wattle's boots, and I looked up to Wattle a great deal. So I wasn't a great boot boy. I think the guys used to complain about my quality of polishing.
I shan't send you mine then.
Do you still follow the Blues? I mean, do you still look for the scores when you can?
I do. I still care about every team that I played for. You have that affinity at the club, and you certainly remember the good times. So I do. It was hard to watch when Caddy scored that goal, when nearly got relegated to League One. So more when I was back in the UK, I certainly followed the Blues and seen League One. And coming out here, it's like, there's only so much football you can watch. So, most of my focus is on MLS and Premier League and Champions League and Europa League. So I don't watch so much of the Championship, but I certainly want Birmingham to get back to their best, and I believe they're a club that should be in the Premier League.
Absolutely. What's the difference between crowds at MLS and crowds when we were in the Premier League?
MLS is an experience. MLS is about a day out. It's family experience. You have a beer in the seats, and you walk around the concourse, and you get a hot dog, and you score a goal, and there's probably only like 70% of the fans are actually watching the field.
Some Blues games like
that. It's actually like I've went to loads of sports in North America, and the basketball and the hockey and the baseball, they're days out and they're fun in the regular season, as they call it, and then the playoffs come, and it just ramps up to 100 right away. Where none of that's going on. The atmosphere is as good as any kind of English stadium, usually within an arena. But I've been to some Blue Jays playoff games that are just rocking. So, and BMO Field's been like that as well with the success that TFC's had. So I've been calling the games in my capacity as a broadcaster now with TSN. So it's different, but it's certainly growing, and it's in many ways it doesn't have that toxicity that that the stadiums in the UK have, which make them special. But sometimes you're like, this is actually quite nice. Like I can have my kids like my kids go to the game even when they were like 10, 11, and I'm broadcasting the game, and they're just kind of like walking around the stadium, and I'm totally fine with that. You know, I don't know if I'd be all right with that at Ellen Road or somewhere else, you know, so or St Andrews or St James's, but yeah, it's different, but it's growing, guys. It's going to be a significant league. It's North America, and there's plenty of money, and it's just going to grow and grow and grow until the point that
It's all
I was
about
going to say, Steve, have you got any mementos from your days of Blues? Got any souvenirs or shirts or anything?
I have, actually. I should have brought it up because it's here in Canada. So I had like, I don't know, maybe I had 30 shirts for my career. And one time I was home, I'm like, I'm bringing back my favourite sort of 7 or 8, and most of them, a lot of them are Birmingham City shirts, actually. It's kind of
That's good to know.
Europa, I've got that yellow Europa League one.
Oh, yeah.
And how does it compare as a player then, playing for Birmingham, Newcastle, and say Leeds? You know, obviously the crowd at Ellen Road, the crowd at St James's Park, and the crowd at St Andrews. How do those three compare, like, as a player when you're playing for all three clubs, like?
Yeah, no, they're definitely on a level, you know, and it's like choosing a kid. I would never like pick one over the other because like they're all special to me, and I really mean that. And I was on the Leeds for like 17 games, but that club will be in me till the day that I die. Like it's a great club. Great people, great fans, and Ellen Road's one of the best places in the world to play when it's packed, as is St Andrews, as is St James's. Newcastle, like, the first club you go to when you grow up there, and that has that kind of a special place. But I don't choose because, like I said, I'm very proud to have experienced like every one of them.
Yeah. And who had the biggest influence on your career as a player?
Great question. The biggest influence was a guy called Tommy Craig. He was my reserve coach at Newcastle.
Oh, sorry, I think
Tommy Craig.
No.
Got me?
Yeah.
Got you back.
I didn't lose you.
Yeah, Tommy was a terrific coach. He gave me a lot of belief. I had some tough times at Newcastle where it looked like they were going to release me, and the one guy that always believed in me was Tommy. He always felt that I had something to make a career in the game, and it's tough times. I don't know where I'd be if I never had that champion pushing me and telling me what I was capable of. So he's definitely a huge influence. My dad, mum and dad, of course, for the sacrifices they made to get me there. And then my hero is like Kenny Dalglish. He's a guy I work with. He wanted to sign me at Blackburn, and I met him a number of times. And, you know, like you're sitting at dinner with your absolute hero.
Yeah.
He knows your name, he knows your parents. It's so surreal.
I can imagine.
And then my manager at Newcastle, and we sort of kept in touch and stuff. And so, yeah, he's always going to be my hero for his moments in a Scotland shirt.
Right. Michael, are you still in awe, or have you got any more questions?
No, I was just about to chip in then, if I may. I just wanted to know, Steve, who's the toughest centre forward you've ever played against?
Oh, wow. Yeah, Henry for sure, Thierry Henry. He was unplayable. Like he could do everything, you know. He could kind of come off and receive it, and he could go in behind, and yeah, he was strong, he was powerful, he was smart, he was unplayable. Like he's probably the one guy I was like, I don't know how to like stop this guy. It's just like hanging on for dear life, just hoping that he doesn't have good moments. I think I got him at his best a lot of times as well. I played in that game that they always show where he scored the 4 goals against Leeds at Highbury, where they had the invincible season, and that was just a remarkable team. But yeah, I was lucky. I kind of played against them all, you know. I sort of like played against Ronaldo, and I played against Rooney, and I played against Van Nistelrooy, and Kanu and Bergkamp, and on and on. Like the list is long, so I'm very fortunate. Never played against Messi, unfortunately. My brother did, so he's got that on me for sure. But he played against Henry as well, and he said, you know, back then they were pretty much neck and neck around about 2006 when he was at Barcelona. So yeah, great moments. One that you guys will not be happy with, but I played against Juan Pablo Anquel when he was at Aston Villa.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I couldn't believe what he was, guys. He was everywhere.
Yeah.
He was good in the air. He could finish. He could press the whole back line. He was such a good player.
He was a good player.
Good night, Dave.
Yeah. Moving on.
I sort of remember games. You know, like I played against
the best,
Boxic when he was at Middlesbrough. Alan Boxic as well. He was special. Oh,
yeah.
He had size 5 feet, guys. His feet were like this.
Yeah.
He was 6'2" and his feet were tiny, but he was a genius. His feet were like he had such soft feet. He was some player. So I just remember the moments, the games, usually when you're getting embarrassed. But to me, it's like such a privilege. You know, you play against these guys and you experience them, and there's not a lot of people that can say that.
Ray wants to know, question for Stephen, do you have any regrets from your playing days?
No, I don't actually.
Nope.
Very, very little. Like I could always think you could always like think of some, but I sort of I wish to play at Ibrox or Parkhead. I never got a chance to play at either stadium in my entire career. And yeah, if you had said that to me at like 16, 17, I would have said certainly I will at some point. I never played any club football in Scotland, which was weird as well. You know, I nearly went to Rangers once and never quite happened. And actually, Alex McLeish was the manager. He almost signed me at Rangers and never happened. But yeah, it was no real regrets. Like, played with my brother with Scotland, like played for Scotland, played for some great clubs, played at Wembley, played at Hampden, like ticked a lot of boxes, so I'm pretty privileged.
Definitely.
Would you, I mean, I know you settled in Canada now, would you ever consider coming back to England or Scotland, or are you sort of happy now, you know?
Yeah.
You're set?
I would always consider it, because I think that, you know, if you have aspirations to coach, you know, I've just started coaching with the Canadian men's national team, so I'm an assistant there, and I love the game. Like, I think I've got a lot to give the game. You know, I've got a couple of businesses as well, which kind of gives me that diversity, which I enjoy, because I think that at this point I like using my brain as well a little bit. So yeah, I would always consider it. I'm very settled here, I would say. But if the right opportunity came along, I just know what I'm like. You know, I just like, I'm very passionate about football, and if somebody calls me up and they've got a project and they know what I can bring to that project and it aligns with what I feel my strengths are, then usually I do it. Like, I'll tell you guys a funny story, but I nearly never ended up in Toronto. Like, they wanted me to come right after my Blues career in May, and I needed a break. It was a tough season. My family were living in Newcastle, and I said, no way I can go in May. And my agent said, well, call Ryan Nelson and see what, you know, explain it to him. And I got on the phone, and for 10 minutes, he was just so compelling that I agreed to go to Toronto in 2 days' time. And I went in May, and I went through May and June, and, you know, it was one of the best decisions I made. So I'm always like, I always get influenced by people that kind of like get me going, get me passionate. So chance came in England or Scotland, I would consider coming back.
I can think of some good Canadian footballers in my time, but who are the best? Who are the best now?
Oh, we've got a very exciting group of players. We've got obviously Alphonso Davies at Bayern Munich.
He's Canadian. Yeah, what a player
he's the most exciting talent that we've had in a generation. The guy's like, physically, I've never seen anything like him. He's just so quick and strong. And, he's improving all the time. We have Jonathan David, who plays for Lille in France.
Yeah.
Like number 9/10. He's banging in the goals, at top of the league in Ligue 1. So he's close to. He went there for I want to say like 20-25 million. So his next steps, like, to me, like League or the Premier League for sort of 40 or 50 million, and I don't think he's too far away for that. We've got Kyle Larin and Atiba Hutchinson. Kyle's banging in the goals at Besiktas, and Atiba's been playing there for a decade. And Stephen Eustáquio is playing in Portugal. Arfield's at Rangers. We've got a couple of great young North Americans who are doing really well here. So we've got a nice player pool, and we've got the talent coming through, pushing guys, you know, which is important.
Yeah, that's good. And I think the best player we've had at Birmingham, Canadian, is Paul Pesky-Salido.
Pesh,
Great
guy. Yeah, I know him pretty well. He's a guy that I always love bumping into whenever I meet him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did quite well, didn't he?
Yeah, very well.
Pesh was really good, yeah.
Sorry, Stephen. Where do you stand with the World Cup sort of qualifiers and stuff? How are you doing with Canada?
So it's pretty crazy, guys, because CONCACAF has 35 nations. And, no disrespect to some of them, but they're sort of like way below the kind of standard. But we're in a group right now where Suriname, Aruba, Cayman Islands and Bermuda. And we just beat Bermuda 5-1 and we beat Cayman Islands 11-0. So we'll probably beat Aruba something similar. And Suriname will be a decent game because they've got a lot of Dutch Eredivisie players play for them. And if we win that, then we go into a playoff against probably Haiti, who are decent. And then we get into the 8-team Mexico, USA, Costa Rica, Honduras, Jamaica, that sort of like
the big boys.
So we need to make it there. Like with the talent we've got now, this is our time, So that's the message we've been giving the guys. We should make it. Hopefully we will make it. And then I think we've got as good a chance as any for that sort of third place, which will get us into the World Cup in Qatar in 2022.
Yeah.
You know what? A really good thing for yourself personally is working with the MLS. Like the scene really hasn't taken off throughout America, North America, Canada, like football is in the UK. Yeah, but you're out there, you're coaching, and you're kind of part of this at a very early stage of what we probably all know is going to be something quite massive in the future. And to be part of the conceptual stage of that, I think is testament and credit to your own personal abilities, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying that. It's actually like something that's really important.
I've thought about it. It took me 3 weeks to think about it, Steve.
I was going to say, there's some big words there. I hadn't heard him say them before.
It really is like, there's some things that very much frustrate me about football, soccer in North America, and you're pulling your hair out at times, but it's also nice to be somewhere that are kind of pioneering something, and, the national team's got a group of players that can do something significant, and I've watched TFC grow from being, this little 18, 20,000 seater stadium when I first got here to 30 plus, and, hoping to host World Cup games in 2026 and signing some big guys and that. So there's something to be said about being part of something kind of, not at the beginning, but really at the kind of growth spurt and at the stages where we're starting to see significant change. So it's amazing. And I say this all the time, you guys might laugh at me and that, but this will be the biggest league in the world. And I don't know how long it'll take, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, but like, no disrespect, but people want to live in Miami and LA and New York and Chicago, and this is where the money is, So eventually, once this grows and catches on, I really believe that the biggest players in the world will start coming here for quality of life. And if one or two make that first jump and they pioneer that thing at sort of like 27, 28, then the rest will follow. And I honestly believe that it'll happen here in MLS.
Do you ever think? Do you ever think there'll be like? Do you ever think there'll be like a transatlantic league? Like an international.
It's got to come.
Yeah. Wouldn't it surprise me at all? Yeah, that would be. That would be pretty cool,
Yeah. We're quite aware of the time as well, Stephen. So I know that.
Do you know what I was going to say? We're staying, Chris. To be honest with you,
you've got to shoot off soon, haven't you, Stephen?
I do, guys. I'm really sorry. I've enjoyed the chat.
Don't be. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks for giving up your time, mate. Appreciate it.
Cheers for that, Steve.
Anytime, guys. Thanks. It was a pleasure. And good luck.
Boys and girls, the one and only Mr. Steve Caldwell, thank you so much for your service.
Mate. Good luck with Canada until you play. Good luck with Canada until you play England.
Cheers, guys. See you soon.
There in about another 12 months. We'll catch up with you again, Steve. All right.
Sounds good. See you guys.
Bye.
Cheers, David.
What a very nice man. What a very nice man.
What a very, very nice man.
I tell you what, never know what to expect on these interviews. And I was thinking Steve Caldwell. I'm trying to rack my brains. Oh, yeah, of course, he was with us in the Euros and the Saturday. And, he's just been so fluent in his answering and what have you.
And he's Scottish as well. Scottish as well. We can understand him.
Yeah. And he didn't charge the show. He didn't charge us anything.
No. He never said murder or girls.
The only thing we didn't do with him on was the ooh.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to push it.
Let's do it
You see
now.
me going like this.
Yeah.
That means who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means who?
Yeah.
We can still do it though, can't we, Chris?
Yeah, we can
Our
still do it,
viewers
yeah.
can still try and get it. But the clue is that Stephen played with this guy.
Okay, here we go.
Yep.
Okay, I think we're on day 4 of our pre-season tour. I know a lot of people are obviously wondering what happened yesterday in the game. First and foremost, I think it was a very good team performance.
What was that then?
Give people a little while on that. Michael,
Yeah,
should we
it's
get
not
on to
easy.
your 1 to 11?
Come
Got your 1 to 11, Michael?
I have.
Come on then, let's have a laugh.
How dare you?
How rude.
We're rude.
1 to 23,
We're
actually.
ruthless.
So what year are these between? What was your first game? Tell us what your first game was first, if you can remember.
1875.
Cheeky bugger. 1985, Leeds Blues.
Leeds Blues.
Leeds
Yeah.
Blues.
Oh yeah.
It was the day of the Bradford fire.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Oh,
everyone
horrible
remembers
day.
that. And we lost one of our youngsters, didn't we, that day as well, when a
Yeah,
brick
that's
wall fell
right,
on
yeah.
him. So,
Did.
yeah. The worst game I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Hated it.
I didn't go for a
This
long time
is-
after that, Michael, to be honest with you.
No. That was a
Right.
this is a
horrible day.
team.
Horrible
So this
day.
is a team made up of players from 1985 to the present day.
Onwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's, basically, yeah, if I can just find it.
Okay.
Okay, manager to start with.
Bald Eagle, Jim Smith.
Okay.
Yeah.
Loved him.
Yeah.
Brilliant manager.
Good bloke.
Captain, where's my list? Right, Captain Robbie Savage.
Captain.
Yeah.
In.
Something
Captain
different.
Savage.
Right, so goalkeeper, Tony Coton.
Yeah.
Right back, Stevie Carr.
Yeah.
Left back, Martin Granger.
Yeah.
2 in the middle, Roger Johnson, Scott Dan.
Yeah.
Middle of the park, Mark Ward and Robbie Savage. So ball winner, ball player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Burke on the right. Stan on the left. And up front, the Force and Pesh.
Good side that is. I like that. There's got a bit of everything in it.
A nice bit of blend. Nice bit of
Yeah,
blend.
yeah. It's a strange pairing at the front there, but yeah.
I've got a question. The Robbie Savage captain. What was the thought process behind that one?
Just basically because he winds everyone up
Yeah,
and he gets everyone going.
exactly. That's what he does.
It's just someone that he just wears his heart on his sleeve, doesn't he? So
Yeah,
you know, that's,
and he's somebody you want on your side as well.
It'd be a
I
good
certainly
captain
wouldn't
to
want to
be
play
playing.
No,
against
look,
him.
I get it. It was your choice. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you typed your choice. I was just,
Yeah.
wondering what the thought was behind it. And if you say I wanted to wind everybody up. Well, all well and good.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah. And who's your favourite actual single player in that time as well?
I don't know, to be honest.
No.
Too many.
For the amount of time, we've had too many good players. I wish we'd had them all at the same time, but we've just had too many. I mean, I always played in defence, so I'd probably say Granger.
Oh yeah, what a player! Yeah, great player.
He's
I
a
mean, you
beast.
could pick two teams, couldn't you, that compete comfortably in the Premier League from the players that we've had in that time.
Easily.
You know,
Good.
you got Cunningham and Upson at the back as well, and you know, you do Gary obviously who didn't make it in your team, and you know, Seb Larson, and you know what I mean. There's some.
There's just so many. I mean, when you ask the players to pick, I don't know how they do it because I stood there this afternoon. It's like, okay, I've got about 8,000 players to pick from then, and that was just in Barry Fry's days.
That's right.
The only one that didn't get enough time to do it was Ian Bennett because you know he was with us for that long. It was it was too difficult for him to do it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got a few people having a go at the U. So do you want to give them one more?
Yeah, go
one
on.
more.
Here we go.
Okay, I think we're on day 4 of our pre-season tour. I know a lot of people are obviously wondering what happened yesterday in the game. First and foremost, I think it was a very good team performance.
Not Curtis. Curtis, is it? No, what is?
No, I'll give another clue. It was signed by Lee Clark on loan, so that doesn't narrow it down much, does it?
No.
It's another tough one this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
They always are, Mark. You can't make them too easy, otherwise it'll be all over.
No.
I don't actually know, so you'll have to keep an eye on the show.
I don't know either.
I've forgotten.
Rav, is it?
Say again.
Ravel Morrison.
Graham Haynes has gone Redmond. Mitch Hancock's from Dave Twine. Jake Jervis from Dave Twine.
No, not Jake Jervis. That's a good effort, though. That's a good effort.
Ian Hambridge.
Who?
Ian Hambridge.
No.
Ian Hambridge. Who's that?
No.
Reece Brown.
No.
Oh, Reece. Oh, Ian Hambridge, God rest his soul.
Oh,
okay.
yeah,
Here's the lad who
That was the lad who, okay. I'm going to say he's not an ex-player. He's a fan that sadly passed away, wasn't he? Yeah, I think,
passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a few more this week as well, hasn't there?
It's been awful, hasn't it? The last couple of weeks, it's just been absolutely
going on about that. Can I say there was no mention of Frank Worthington Friday night, which I thought they might have mentioned him.
Yeah, it was about. Yeah.
Nothing.
Right. Nothing at all. Yeah. Nothing. Can I ask people what their thoughts are on the goings on with the ladies' game?
I don't know, Chris, because I don't. No disrespect, I don't really follow the ladies' game that much, right? But I've heard that we may not even have a team next year.
Yeah.
I think from what I saw, is it Carla Ward, the manager? She came in. She came in at the start of the season and got quite a few new players in, and it looked quite positive at the start, didn't it? They were doing okay, but they've had a few setbacks. Obviously a heavy defeat at the weekend, and there's a few other issues going on off the field, I believe, isn't there, as well, that's causing problems.
Yeah, there was talk about the training facilities.
Kevin Tomlinson.
And so forth, yeah.
Sorry, I've got to say well done to Kevin Tomlinson. He deserves a hat.
Yeah. Well done.
With Rob Hall.
Rob Hall, yeah, well done, Kevin Tomlinson, mate. Well done, mate.
Yeah. No, Trevor John Smith has gone Curtis Woodhouse, same as me. I thought it sounded very much like Curtis, to be honest with you. But,
no, it's Rob Hall. It's Rob Hall, yeah. Well done to Kevin Tomlinson.
Rod Hall.
Okay. Who's the guest?
Rod Hall.
Rod Hall and Amy.
Sorry.
I'm just going to play a small clip that I believe was on Sky today regarding the Blues ladies. Let's see if we can make it out.
Birmingham City, not all's well off the pitch. What can you tell us?
That's right, Vicky. I've been made aware of some issues going on between the players at Birmingham City Women and the board, and things aren't looking too good at the moment. I believe a letter was written and signed by every single player in the team and sent to the Birmingham City board, and it's not been received too well, I'm afraid. So some of the issues, let me talk you through them, Vicky. The issues include wages being below minimum wage in some cases, very poor facilities not meeting elite standards, poor pitches, meaning the women have to train in the domes. And one of the ones that really stands out to me, because I've seen some pictures, is the physio in the rehab room. It's in a porta cabin at the moment. The bars actually for the weights are touching either side of the porta cabin. This one will make you cringe. A player's dad actually came in to build a weights rack for the women, and some of the players are bringing in their own equipment as well. But Vicky, just let me tell you this, one of the major issues would be a fixture against Tottenham. Birmingham City Club could not provide a fully fit squad to meet a Tottenham fixture. So instead, the board decided to give the 3 points to Tottenham Hotspur. They are cleared the relegation battle, and Birmingham are in the middle of the relegation battle at the moment. So some real problems going on there at the moment with the players in that squad going up against the board. I'll spare their blushes. There's other things that I'm hearing. I'm not going to mention it today, but I know we're going to hear about it in the coming days as well. And we did reach out to them this morning for a comment, but I haven't heard anything back as yet.
All right.
Thoughts on that then?
Chris.
What's going on?
That's typical of our club, isn't it?
What the hell is going on?
It's just a shambles.
I'm afraid to say this. You know what? We, as a football
club,
are an embarrassment. Yeah. We're an embarrassment. Ian Hambridge.
Ian Hambridge, who's that?
Reece Brown.
Oh, hang on. Sorry. Sorry.
It's all right. No, it's Chris. It's Chris who's continuing to play.
I'm back in time.
He's only got one job.
Yeah. So what the hell is going on at our club?
Oh, I mean, for goodness sake, like, not long ago we were like in the FA Cup final, Champions League. You know, we were pretty much up there. And now you hear those two words again. The board.
Yeah.
The board. If that board doesn't pack up and go, God help them when fans get back in that ground, I can tell you. And you know what? That's a bad thing for me to say, but oh my God.
It's just a shambles, Nick. It really is. It's shambles from, well, not from top to
I'm
bottom.
going to be really honest with you, Paul. I'm going to be really. I didn't hear that Sky clip until just right. I am just mortified.
Mad. It's crazy, isn't it?
Oh my God! What are we doing? We're paying less than the minimum wage to what?
Yep. It is. It's crazy.
And a porter cabin.
It's speechless.
They went out in the 70s.
I liked Linda's analogy last week. We're just a handbag, aren't we? That's what we are. We're a handbag. And to the board, we're a handbag. We're just an accessory. Yeah. And nobody's putting their heart and soul into it at director level or above, in the ownership. And that's what it needs. You're running a business, for God's sake. You need to run it properly, otherwise it's going to fall apart.
We've advertised the protest billboards. Yes, we have, Wayne, and we'll continue to do so until this lousy, vile, horrible board go, sell our football club to somebody worthwhile, and let's carry on with being what we are. Go!
I've got to be honest, I can't really see the ladies' team, the women's team, being around. I don't think they'll be around for much longer. I can't.
Even if they just let somebody else, even if we have the same ownership with a different CEO, let's try that.
Would you want to turn up for less than minimum wage? Come on.
No.
Not training in a porter cabin.
No, not when it's your job. It's wrong.
It's crazy. It's
I doubt they've even got a picture of Lowry behind them.
No.
Painted, matched up, men and dogs. Oh, mate, I'll tell you what. Oh.
I mean, before Dong, we had Panos, didn't we? Panos Pavlakis, and it was nothing like this. It wasn't great, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it was run perfectly, but it was a lot better than this.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Dong's not a CEO, though, isn't he? Dong's a puppet.
Dong's a puppet, yeah.
He's not a CEO.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
And surely the problem that could arise is that whilst we've still got these people at the top, we could just swap Dong for a Ding or a Ming.
Yeah.
It's got more chance of Ming than Ding.
Yeah.
No, it's true. You know what I'm trying to say.
I had an answer for that, but I really don't.
I know, yeah.
Really, I'll say it up there after this.
But yeah.
Oh God! Yes, you're right, Chris. And until this club gets sold lock, stock, and two smoking barrels, I'm afraid this will continue for probably my entire lifetime.
Yeah.
It's just.
Pete Taylor just says even we had a decent side porter cabin in Little League at Ward End Park in the early 90s.
Oh, it's just embarrassing. It really is.
But yeah, we're all the same club, as someone said earlier. We're all the same club. The ladies, the men's.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all bear the same name of Birmingham City FC.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of other clubs who make sure that the women's team goes from strength to strength, but we're the complete opposite. We're just letting it die.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't think the expectation and we're not a deluded fan group, are we? We don't expect to be in the Champions League and winning the Premier League like some fans up the road. However, we do expect to be at least mediocre. Do you know what I mean? Mediocrity, get to that level, and we've seen it in the Premier League. We got to mediocrity in the Premier League on a regular basis. And I'd take that. I just hope that one day I can see that again. But will I ever see that again? I don't know.
We got to 9th in the Premier League. That wasn't mediocrity. That was damn good.
Yeah. Well, it's mid-table. Anyway. That's what I mean. That's
we won the Carling Cup. We were in Europe. That was damn good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the rot had started just prior to that with Carson Young and his haircutting business.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid we could all do with right now, but
he'd make a bomb, wouldn't he?
Oh, I'm just embarrassed. Honestly, I really am.
It's not good. It's not good.
Anyway, let's talk about things. Brentford, Tuesday night. Paul, predictions, please.
1-1.
1-1. Mark.
I was going to say 1-1 as well. I think we'll get a draw.
Michael, without his microphone.
No, it's still on. I'm having a few technical issues. I'm going to be brave. 2-1 Blues.
2-1 Blues, Chris.
Oh, that's usually what I say. I'm going to go...
Chris.
Okay, I'm going to go 3-1 Blues.
I'm going to go 2-0 Blues.
Yeah. Nothing, There's nothing to be scared of. Now we've got a bit of confidence.
And the thing is, you know that going into that game, they're going to have a go.
Yeah.
Which is a few weeks ago.
Or we
wouldn't have
asked
said
for,
that.
Mark. Or we asked for. Here we go. They're coming in. Right. Jason McDonough, 2-0 Blues. Paul McCarthy, 1-0 Blues. 1-2 to Graham Hines. Not to Graham Hines, but to Brentford by the look of that. 2-2 Trevor Smith. Jason Hughes, 1-2. 2-1 Blues, Nigel Mann. 2-0 Blues, Ray Braga. And 1-0 Blues, Wayne Merricks. 2-1 to Brentford from Stephen Gill. And Roy would be happy with a draw. Roy Haywood. 3-3 from Dave Twine. A big scoring game there from Dave. That's
I'll
just
take a draw.
A slip of the... I'm ever sorry. I've got a really... I've bitten my tongue really badly, right? And I've got it done half hurt. So if I can't talk properly tonight, you think I'm dribbling. It's not because I'm drunk.
We got
never ever get drunk, mate. Not ever.
Do you want to do another one, Nick? We've got your favourite team at home on Saturday. Stoke.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Chip game, innit?
Well, they got beat against Millwall today, didn't they?
Yeah. So we've got Stoke at home. So between now and next Monday, we'll be playing Brentford away tomorrow, like we just said.
And
Stoke at home. Stoke at home on Saturday.
2-1 to Blues against Stoke.
Okay, I'll go 1-0.
And I'll do it again, I promise you. On Saturday night, if we beat Stoke, I'll go up the chip shop and get some chips.
Yeah.
I was right last week against Swansea.
Yeah, you were, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and me.
Yeah?
Yeah, and...
Stephen Gill, 1-0 Stoke, 2-0 Blues on Saturday from Craig Courtney, 1-1 from Roy Cornish, 1-1 Stoke, Steve Portman, 2-0 Blues from Paul McCarthy, and we must be stoked up for that game. Yeah, oh, Nigel Mann coming out with a fun.
Would you take 2 draws for the next 2 games?
Oh,
no.
yeah.
No.
I would.
No, I'll tell you what I would take, Paul, Mark, sorry.
Yeah.
I'd take them 2 wins. Rotherham have gotten beaten again today. Wycombe beat Rotherham today, right? I'd take them 2 wins because then we've got to play Rotherham, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if we pass another 6 points, and I don't care what they do, right? I don't care what they do. Or Coventry, even though I think they won today, didn't they?
They did 3-1, yeah.
Again. My only interest is Birmingham City. I'm not bothered about any other team. I don't care who goes. I wouldn't care if Stoke went down. I don't care if Derby go down. I don't care. I do not care. I just want Birmingham City to consolidate their place in the Championship this season, and then with Lee Bowyer with a closed season and see what we can do from a management perspective. Right, nothing to do with the board. The board have got to keep this out of this. Right, keep your noses out of football because you don't know a thing about it.
No. Absolutely.
It just shows you, though, looking at where Derby are now, it does show you, doesn't it, how brutal this league is? Because, you know, they were in the playoffs.
Well, look where Stoke were as well. You know, I mean, what are they? Were they 11th yesterday or something like that?
I'm not sure. No, I think they've been down there, haven't they, for most of the season?
Yeah,
that's why
they were proper down there with us last season, weren't they?
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Can you just say, Mark Ireland says, any chance of getting Chris Burke on? Craig, work your magic. And on the subject we just talked about with the ladies, more appalling PR for the club. Yeah.
But for Sky to report something as degrading as that and as horrible as that.
I'll tell you what is a good sign though. There was no press conference with Dong when Bowyer was appointed, was there?
No.
He doesn't want in there, that's why.
Has there been any word from Dong since Bowyer's been appointed?
Has he still got his porter cabin down at the training ground?
Exactly. Probably not in
Yeah, and it with the girls at the moment, isn't it?
You do, mate.
The women have moved in.
Yeah.
It's just a mess from start to finish, honestly. It really is.
Mark Harland, we're working on Berkey as we speak.
Nice one.
There we go.
That's good.
Dave Twine says, I read that Derby could still have points took off them. We've got to not think about that, haven't we? Just do the job.
Haven't the EFL decided not to take points off anybody during the pandemic?
Oh, they can't do it.
Possibly.
That's bear that in mind because you can see all these other clubs just getting away with it, Right, we got our 9-point punishment. Yeah, we nearly went down because of it. But expect everybody else to get away with it.
Yeah. Another thing that's been talked about, and there's been a few comments on here about consortiums and clubs raising money through crowdfunding schemes to buy the club. The thing is with that, I don't think people realise that it's not a millionaires game anymore regarding football. It is a multi-million billionaires game.
You have to sustain
You
it.
have got to have a lot of, and they talk about Jasper Carrots and
You turned
Trevor
into
Francis.
Black then.
Just
You've got to have a lot of money.
like you have though, and they're very, very rich people, very, 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 very rich people, but they're not rich enough.
Oh, breaking news: Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, West Ham United 1.
Great.
Slap-a-dingo, slap-a-dingo.
Do you mind? We're supposed to be professional.
Jesse
Never
Lingard.
thought it was like this when I was invited to come on.
Lingard scored again for him, innit? Jesse Lingard again.
He's in form, isn't he?
Yeah.
Great player.
Yeah.
Obviously, he must have learnt loads of blues. Obviously, when he was with us, you know, he's gone on to
That's making of him.
yeah, too right.
No, but I mean, going back to the fans thing, you know, you have to be, like, say, a multi-millionaire, and you have to sustain it.
Yeah,
and I don't think there's many of us who are that rich.
It's running costs, Mark. It's running costs.
Yeah, exactly.
I am just sick to the back teeth of worrying about teams like Rotherham. No disrespect to them, but I'm just sick to death of worrying about teams like Rotherham. You know, we're like Nick always says, we're Birmingham City. You know, and we should be batting at a higher level than what we are. And you know, for me, whenever we win at the moment, while we've got these people in charge running the club, it just papers over the cracks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and we've got a good manager there. I think we've got a manager now that could take us forward and take us potentially back to the Premier League eventually in time. He's got enough about him to do it, I think.
How much do you think all this is affecting him and maybe the team, if any?
I think from where Bowyer's come from at Charlton, obviously the budget was a lot lower at Charlton, and dare I say it, you know, they're probably in a worse position in every aspect than what we are. So for Bowyer, it's probably a step up, isn't it? Obviously, but I don't know. I just don't know.
Well, think about how much it affects us, Paul, and what we hear. We've heard that report of Sky News today. You know what? I'm rock bottom now. After that win against Swansea, you know, right up there. Now you hear something like that, you're brought back down again within a day.
Yeah. We were all on such a high, weren't we?
We've had so many final day survivals, relegation battles, one season after season after season, and you know we've had a few good seasons in the last 10 years under Rowett, and I enjoyed Monk's season as well, and obviously Houghton. But overall, it's just been batting our, you know, pitching our wits, trying to stay in the league, innit, all the time, and I'm just fed up of it now. We need to move on from it.
Yeah,
it's just zero ambition, is that?
No,
no ambition whatsoever.
It'd be quite nice to be a normal club, wouldn't it? It'd be quite just a couple of years of normality.
It's normal.
It's never going to happen, is it, with Birmingham City? It's never happened. No. It's never happened.
Okay, we're into the last 5 minutes of the show. Actually, I didn't really realise that.
Yeah, we are.
With beating Swansea the other day, Swansea, right? And my son has bought himself a barge. He's now going to live on a barge on the canal for the rest of his life. So tonight, for the last 5 minutes, ladies and gents, anything to do with waterways and football. Waterways and football. And I'll go with Swansea as a starter. Because you see on the canals, don't you?
Can I say Danny Drinkwater?
Oh,
Kevin Drinkwater.
Yeah.
Cogs are turning now. I can see them on Mark. He's really thinking.
Yeah.
Can I say Didier Deschamps?
Can you say who?
Known as the water carrier.
Oh yeah.
They wouldn't understand that.
I like that.
Yeah.
What about Giovanni Tapatone?
Tapatone.
Like it.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Oh dear.
We're not on Sky tomorrow, are we? It's Blues TV, and it's tomorrow.
I hope so.
Yeah, Blues TV. Yeah.
I always used to moan when we were on Sky because we never used to get good results. But last couple of times alone now, we've done all right, haven't we? So
I know.
Nick, I've just seen the best one.
Go on.
Canoe.
Oh, Canoe.
like it.
Yes.
We've got David Weir, John Drain, Andy Cole, Nigel Squashy,
Oh dear.
Peter Lubbertanks, oh Brummy, EAU, oh Brummy. My stitches are hurting. Go away, the lot of you. Caldwell, Canoe. I like the Canoe. Nicola Lock Madsen. Paul Van Dam Howe. Scott Dam.
Love it.
Scott Dam.
Goddamn, yeah.
Oh, baby.
What about Argentina?
Argentina. Well,
We've got Ricky Otter.
Kyoto?
Didn't there used to be in Charlton used to have a centre half as well called Mark Fish.
Mark Brooks.
Mark Fish, yeah, Mark Fish.
Yeah, South African.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Otter water.
How about Gary Rowett?
Like it.
yes, Gary Rowe. Well done. Well done.
Row it. Yeah. Oh dear.
Otter.
Oh, you got the national side, Argentina.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Wayne, what about Wayne Bridge?
Yeah,
Wayne Bridge. Mediterranean nafty.
That's a good one.
Maradama.
Love it.
Oh, this is quite a good one. Leak. Oh.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Leak. Oh yeah, I like it.
What did we make of his performance on Friday, Lecco?
I think his best performance since he joined, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Overflowing Martins.
I think we've got to play there. I think we've got to play there. You know, with the right coaching. I think if we can, if when he gets into threatening positions, if he can be coached properly to, provide the right ball at the right time, we could have a good player on our hands there.
Yeah, definitely. He's fine at the Charlton and the Bayer.
What about Harley Dean? What do you think of his last couple of performances?
I think he's come on and he's found his captaincy again at the minute, hasn't he?
Well, I thought him and Roberts were excellent on Friday night. Really good.
Yeah.
And that's the most threatening. That was the most threatening I've ever seen Mark Roberts' throw-ins as well since he's been here.
Yeah.
We actually won a penalty, even though we didn't score it. We actually won a penalty off one.
Yeah.
It is strange. He's still not liked by everybody, is he, Harley Dean?
No, he's got mustard, hasn't he?
Yeah.
We've got George Weir just coming.
What about the most obvious one, Mark Sale?
Yeah.
Charlie Lake.
If Dean keeps playing like he did Friday, he'll do for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another good one from Ray Christoph Tugari. Oh, God. Blimey. You lot make my belly ache. You really do.
Oh, crikey. Look at the time.
Oh, look at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what can we say?
Flies, doesn't it?
With the lap there. I know we should have done it a little bit earlier, but my God, that was funny. Yeah. Right, okay. So 2 games before we meet again, then Brentford and Stoke. Let's hope we can sit here smiling. A week next Monday at 7:30. We'll be back at the normal time next week, 7:30. And we can pick up some points and start to pull away from that evil, horrible breaking news. Wolves 0, West Ham 2, relegation zone.
Wow.
Lots and lots of thanks to Paul Hipkiss tonight. Thank you very much.
My pleasure as always. Keep right
and
on,
as always, good old Mark Andrew Adams.
Stay safe, everyone. Have a good week.
On our fan cam this week, I know he was a little bit dumbstruck earlier. He was a bit overall, but
and that was just
keep going, Nick. Keep going.
That was just you, Nick, because he watches you every week, Nick. He's
I know. I mean, we need that Lowry to auction, don't we? We need that Lowry.
Thanks,
Michael.
Keep right on. Cheers, thank you.
Well done. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Michael.
The one and only Chris Brown.
Good night.
And from myself, good night. God bless. Kate. Take care. Keep right on. Let's hope 6 points next 2 games, and let's hope some decent, good news for a change, because there ain't much on the horizon, is there? When you think about it.
No.
This has been the Tilton Talk Show, sponsored by Ball Sports, our good friends at SAS Autos, Borsey Labour Club and a good Garrison Copy Company with our good friends at Accessi Blues and the Blues Trust. If you want to join the Blues Trust, it's £5 a year or £20 for 5 years. Join in, have a voice, have your say. Good night. God bless. Take care.
Good night.
With a chant